Folks, good day. I hope all is doing well. Um, I'm coming live, and I hope a lot of folks get to see this. Um, a lot of folks are not going to probably like, especially my realtor friends, probably like this, but I have to say something because it's been pretty much bothering me. Um, do you really Are you in the market to buy a home because you want to buy a home or you need to buy a home? And I ask that question because the market has been flooded with folks that want to buy a home, but here's the problem. You don't have the guts for it. If you ask the person that kind of intrigued you to want to buy a home, they would tell you that it's not an easy process. There's a lot of craziness going on, but the craziness is going on because there's more and more people trying to get into the market to buy a home because they want to buy, because other people, the interest rates are low and other people are buying. It's a trending situation more than it is folks actually buying because there's a need. Although the pandemic has made it a situation where people are looking at what they have going on in their home, and they may want to go bigger. But the problem with that is, even if you are noticing that you need to go bigger because you got kids, just got married, or what have you, you have to look out into the market and ask your advisor, your realtor, what's going on in the market so you can understand whether you have the guts to be in the market. Because a lot of folks don't have the guts. You got to have the money, you got to have the guts, you got to understand exactly what you're getting into. It's not the thing of, I just want to buy a house, I want down payment assistance, I want to use the first time home buyers program. None of that stuff in some of the markets are helping folks win contracts. Looking at 40 homes, putting in 30 offers on properties frustrates everyone. And it's not going to get better when you're working with someone and they're steady trying to tell you what you need to do in order to win, and help you give you information so that you can understand what you're getting into. Some areas, homes are selling $30,000 to $50,000 over the list price. Now, a lot of those areas where that's happening, every month the prices are changing. So, I have a client come back to me and say, hey, well, pull me comps. I don't know what the comp's going to tell you, outside of the fact that I can tell you, it can tell you a little bit, but outside of the fact that basically what I can tell you is you got to you got to go with how bad you want, like, and need this piece of property that you're looking to put an offer in on. And please, folks, we need inventory, but if you need to sell, and when you sell, you need to buy, pay attention to the market. What's happening out there? 9 times out of 10, the house that you go to look at is going to be, let's say you just left a house that you had for 15 years and you paid $100,000 for it, and then you sold it and got $180,000 for it, or $200,000. Well, 9 times out of 10, the area you're looking at going into is probably going to be a better area than the one you're actually just moving from. So therefore, homes are going to cost more. So when you sat there and you sold that house and you realize I have this nice chunk of money, you almost and a nice chunk of money, and then now you don't want the payment that comes with a. So you was at $100,000. Now you're looking at a $300,000-$400,000 house. You don't want the payment, and now you don't have no choice because you don't have a house. And if you got pushed out because you sold and now you're renting, you can't stand renting, and the rent is high. So in order for you to get back in the house, guess what happens? You now will probably have to use that whole 100 or 200,000, not because maybe you have to, but because maybe you will need to, based off of the amount of mortgage payment that you're used to, that you want to get back down to. It's the only way you're going to get that payment back. Because the interest rate being low is not going to satisfy you going from a $100,000 mortgage with a 5 or 6% interest rate to a $300,000. When we start to do things, folks, we have to pay attention to what's going on. We don't have to jump. I know folks, I may sound bad because this is what I do for a living. That's the only way I get paid, is to sell a home. But I have to tell folks, you don't have to buy a house right now if it's not a need for it. You will get a good deal, if not even better deal, when the market has some normalcy to it. Right now, running around looking at houses, and then you don't have specific areas that you're looking into, you don't have a strategic plan, it's going to drive you nuts. You're a nurse, or you're a worker that work 12, 14-hour days, and you're trying to buy a house right now. The house is gone by the time you get off to go take a look at it. It's already had 25 people run through it. Now, are there other alternatives? Yeah, there are other alternatives, but most people don't want to take those alternatives. You could go look at a short sale or foreclosure or something like that. Now you got to buy the house and you got to put some sweat equity into it. But most folks don't want that. They want pretty much move-in ready. If you look at that move-in ready, it's going to take time for you to the renovation. You have to be ready to deal with contractors. Those houses still, they're going to get priced up. You're going to have to put your best offer in on those as well, because you also have investors and quite a pool of buyers who are interested in buying those homes as well. Folks, I'm not saying not to want to buy a house. I'm saying what people should be telling folks. If you don't have a need to buy a home right now, you're in somewhere, you're fine, you like the payment that you have, you like the rent that you have, I would say don't jump out into the market right now just because it's the trend to buy a home. I would say, just like the stock market, you won't catch me buying Bitcoin at 56,000 a coin. It just makes no sense. If that coin drops down to 40 or even 45, then maybe I'll jump in. But it just doesn't make sense when everybody is buying and pushing the price up, and then you don't have the guts for it. I'm not saying for the people who don't have the guts for it. If you had the guts for it, you got $30,000 to $50,000, you're okay with taking that money. And if the house doesn't appraise, you have the additional money to pay to offset what the lender will not finance. And you're okay with as is, maybe a home inspection for informational purposes only. Maybe the fact that you put that as is, if you do the informational purposes only and you find what you don't like, if you back out, then you lose your deposit. You gotta have the guts, folks. Don't just want to buy just because they're telling you the interest rates are low and everybody else is buying. Because that's the thing, that when the folks tell you the truth about them buying, they ain't buying, they shopping and putting in contracts, and a lot of them ain't winning. So this is not to discourage anyone from doing any type of real estate transactions, but just to kind of give and just try to throw out there what most folks won't say. If you don't need to buy, you don't have to. Don't jump in the market right now if you can't gut it. Because what you end up doing is you get mad and frustrated with the professionals, and you say it's them, and it's not them, it's you. You don't have the guts for the market. They keep telling you the same thing over and over again. This area, it looks like it's 20, folks are going under contract in 3 to 5 days, and they look like they're paying $20,000 to $50,000 over list price. But nobody wants to listen. They want to go in it anyway and start talking about I'm being discriminated on, or all these other things. Oh, they have an upper hand and this, that, and no, they put their best foot forward 80% of the time. So, folks, let's get smart with the home buying process during these times. I know most folks don't want to say anything about this, but I just felt that I needed to say something, because folks are just they're getting frustrated, but they don't take the time to listen to what should be their trusted advisor, which is like myself, the realtor of choice, and they just don't listen. And if they sit and they listen to what I'm telling them, they would understand exactly what they need to do to make an offer stick, and it wouldn't take them that long to actually get under contract. But when you don't have a gut for it, it could take you over a year. And the reason why you finally find a house is because that market has changed. So, share this with your folks. Pass this on to anybody that's thinking about jumping in the market who don't really have a need. I'm interested in helping anyone I can help, but I just need folks to understand what they're actually getting into. You all have a blessed day. Stay cool out there.